This lesson is about writing equations of parallel, perpendicular, horizontal, and vertical lines. Before we start doing that, let's go over some key ideas, key things that we need to know. Parallel lines have slopes that are, when we look at it, these two lines are parallel. Their slope are the same. Perpendicular lines, perpendicular means a 90 degrees. So two lines make a 90-degree angle. When that's the case, perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal of one another. Negative reciprocal to each other. So what does that mean? Now let's look at an example. If the slope is, say, 2/3, you want a slope that is perpendicular to that slope, then it'll have to be m, and you denote with a right triangle. A line goes through there, the symbol. So this is a perpendicular slope to this. It has to be negative of this slope. Since this is positive, the negative will be negative. Reciprocal means to flip the fraction. So -3/2. So the slope -3/2 is perpendicular to the slope of 2/3. Do another example. Let's say what if the slope is equal to 2. If that's the case, then what is the perpendicular slope to that? Well, 2 is the same thing as 2/1. We need to flip it, and we need the negative of this. So negative of is positive. Well, let's try to change it to negative. Okay. So this is a -2 slope, -2/1. Negative of a negative then would be a positive slope, and that's 1/2. This is positive. We never really write it down as a positive. You can actually just write down the slope as 1/2, 1/2. Slopes of horizontal lines. Horizontal line goes this way. Slope is rise over run. Well, if you look at a horizontal line, there is no rise. So the rise is 0. The run can be whatever. 0 divided by any number is 0. So horizontal lines always have a slope of 0. The general equation of a horizontal line then. A horizontal line, where we can do that, let's have a look at the Cartesian plane. This is your y-axis, this is your x. The horizontal line goes through this way, so it will cross your y-axis. So therefore, equation of a line takes the form of y equals whatever the number that crosses the y-axis. Well, vertical lines, on the other hand, let's have a look. Slopes of vertical lines. The vertical line goes down. So if we pick any 2 points, you can have some kind of number for your rise. If you run, on the other hand, then it's vertical. There's no run. But a number divided by 0 is not possible to divide by 0. If you do that, your calculator will give you an error. Since it's not possible to divide by 0, the slope then is undefined. The general equation of a vertical line, since you recall, vertical line goes up and down this way. A vertical line crosses the x-axis. So of the form, equation is of the form x equals some number, whatever the number that crosses the x-axis. Okay, so quick recap. Parallel lines have slopes that are the same. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocal to one another. Horizontal lines have 0 slope. Its equation is of the form y equals whatever the number that it crosses the y-axis with. And vertical lines have undefined slope, and its equation is of the form x equals some number. The number being where it crosses the x-axis. The general equation of a line in slope in y-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Only this vertical that doesn't quite follow this format. Even the horizontal kind of fall, because if the slope is 0, 0 times x is 0, you're left with a b. But the special lines, just make sure you remember those. Then that would help make life easier. Horizontal, the form of y equals number. vertical with the equation x equals whatever the number, because it crosses the x-axis. Let's practice with lots of examples. Okay, so let's look at 1a. Determine the equation of a line that is parallel to the equation y equals 2x minus 1 with a y-intercept of 2. Recall that parallel has same slope. And so we have a slope of this equation. We need to identify that. Slope is then 2. We're given the y-intercept of 2. Those are the two information we need. The equation, general form, y equals mx plus b. This is place our m and this place our b. Therefore, y equals m being 2, x plus b plus 2. So that's the equation that's parallel. So this is parallel to y equals 2x minus 1. Notice that the slope 2 is the same as this equation. The y-intercept is different. Let's look at 1b now. Find the equation of the line that's parallel to this equation, y equals 4x plus 3 through 1 and 5. Well, it's parallel, it has that same slope, so slope m equals 4. We have that. We need b to be able to answer the question. We are not given b though, we're given the point 1 and 5, but never fear, 1 and 5 will help us to get b. 1 and 5 translate to the coordinate x, y. Well, we've got our general equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. Well, we've got y, we've got x, we've got m over here, so we can solve for b. Let's replace the three variables here with what we have. Y is 5, m is 4 times x is 1. We simplify that to 5 equals 4. Plus b. We want to get b by itself, we need to get rid of that 4. To get rid of the positive 4, we subtract 4. So 4 minus 4 is now 0, and we're left with b. Since we minus 4 on this side, we have to minus 4 on this side, since left side is supposed to be equal to the right side. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. 5 minus 4 is 1. 4 minus 4 is 0, we've got b. So we've got the two information we want, m and b, we can write the equation. Therefore, y equals m for x, b plus 1. Y equals 4x plus 1 is parallel to y equals 4x plus 3. Again, note that our slopes are the same. Let's now look at example 2. Determine that the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 1 with y-intercept 7. Well, perpendicular, we need to know that that has to have a negative reciprocal slope. Well, what are we given? Well, the equation it needs to be perpendicular to has a slope of 2. And the slope that's going to be perpendicular to that is going to be, this is the same thing as 2 over 1. We're going to flip that, and we're going to take the negative of it, which is going to be negative 1 half. So we've got a slope that's negative 1 half, and we have a y-intercept here of 7. So m we've got, b we've got, so therefore we can write our equation. Y equals m, negative 1 half, x, and b is 7. This equation is perpendicular to the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, so notice here, this is the 2, there's the negative bit, and flips over. Let's look at question 2b. Find the equation of the line perpendicular, once again, perpendicular to this equation, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3, and it has to go through this point. Slope of this line is negative 1 over 3. We want a slope that's perpendicular, so we'll flip this. A negative of a negative is actually 3. 3 over 1. We never write a slope as over a denominator of 1. So a better way to write it is just m equals 3. That's our slope. We're given a point 1 and 4. And 1 and 4, what does that translate? What do we know it to be as? It's also x and y. Well, having m, x, and y, that sounds like mx plus c. So we're going to replace everything that we have. We've got m, we've got x, we've got y, we then have z. So we're going to replace everything now. Y is 4, m is 3, x is 1. That's the same thing as 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So 4 equals 3 plus b. We want to isolate b. We don't want the 3 on the right-hand side. So we're going to take away 3. If we take away 3, we've got to take it away to the other side as well. 4 minus 3 is 1 equals b. Well, we've got slope, we've got b. Therefore, we have an equation. Y equals 3x plus 1. This equation is then perpendicular to y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 3. Once again, notice the slope. This is slope of 3. This is the slope of negative reciprocal. Y-intercept is different. In fact, for perpendicular lines, y-intercept could end up being the same. It really doesn't matter. But the key thing is your slopes. They have to be negative reciprocal of each other.